My dude in the house. Mikey, all the way from the AZ. My dude is in the house. What's going on, Mikey? How we doing today, brother?
It's that most wonderful time. Got a ring ding dingaling ding ding dingaling ding. Oh man, what is it? Simply heaven. Oh, it's in your ears. You're in the shopping. It's the best time because football is on. You see your relatives, the ones you like, the ones you don't, the ones you tolerate. But we are blessed, sir, because if this is the only thing that we got to have grievances against, then you know what? We are very lucky. How you doing, G?
Man, 'tis the season to be jolly. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
I feel just like you, man. It's just something about this time of season, man. It just seems like everybody's a lot friendlier. Everybody's giving and opening doors for you and saying hello and giving things to strangers, man. I mean, I wish this could happen 365 days a year, man. This place might be a better place to live. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. But as long as we're accountable for ours and send our best for the ones that don't have, and we do
For
our
sure.
part, we do our best every day.
That's right. That's right. Every day I try to do better, man. And
Yes,
you
sir.
know, and I want to take this time out, man, to thank our subscribers, man, and all those that follow us with G and Mikey mic'd up. So here we are, and we're gonna get into this thing a little bit. And just like I said, we want to thank everybody for being a part of this channel, man, and following us. So it's a Tuesday night recording, and we're going to talk about what we saw on Sunday. But before we get started, man, you know, you brought a tear to my eye just a second ago because you just flashed that jersey. Let's see that jersey again, brother.
Oh, it's a nice Mitchell and Ness, the quarterback of
Damn.
you know, I got blessed. A lot of us, we didn't see Staubach. I didn't see Staubach, obviously, and that was the hero to some, the hero, the folk hero, the I guess not the fictional character, but somebody real life, Captain America. But I was fortunate enough in the time where I fell in love with football, where number 8 from UCLA out of Oklahoma, via through Oklahoma, was my quarterback, and I was fortunate enough to witness it, to root for. The saddest thing in the world is to watch him go, and Cowboy fans should be ashamed forever have booed him, because a man like that never deserves to be booed for whatever he has done. But Troy Aikman, thank you, sir.
Man. Oh my gosh. You know, that's, you know, I'm a little older than you. I was able to witness Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman and those between those two. So yeah, watching Roger, man, was just I was young, but I just remember the number 12, and that was the name that was in the neighborhood. Roger Staubach and Drew Pearson, and you had Tony Dorsett back then and all these good guys, and further back. But it was some good times, man. And and then we moved on into the era of the Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmett Smith.
That's funny you just say Danny White.
Well, Danny was the utility guy, because Danny was a guy that was a punter. He was a punter at first, and he was also a quarterback, and he stepped in a few times when Roger Staubach got hurt. So he did pretty good, and then when Roger Staubach retired, he took over. But those are the days of Tom Landry, man. So I say that to say that under the era of Tom Landry, we saw some great things happen. Under the era of Jimmy Johnson, we saw some great things happen.
So incredible dominance. And if it wasn't for pride and Credit Darling, we could have been the first team to 6 Super Bowls. I don't doubt that one second. And I even know the date, because I was married on this date 20 years fast forward. But it was March 29th, 1992 or 93 was one of the worst days of my life, when Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones announced that they were parting ways, and we haven't been the
Yeah.
same since.
Yeah, that was that man. That was so hurtful, man. I mean, I almost just basically just gave up on the Cowboys when that happened because it was something that that was a tragedy, man. Knowing that what we could have had, but here's the thing, Jerry being the person that he is and what he demands from his team, to where he felt the need that I need to walk away. I'm gonna walk. It wasn't that he got fired; he walked away because
Oh yeah,
he felt I'm not gonna deal with this type of this type of environment. Where there's going to be a tug of war. So he walked away from it, man, and he created something great, man. It started with a first round draft quarterback, Troy Aikman, 1989. And watching him develop to the quarterback that he became, man, was I mean, it was historical. Uh, but with that being said, you are
it's
aware that that was the last time we drafted a first round draft pick quarterback. You know that, right?
well, the Cowboys are rarely at the bottom in the draft, and it's funny that we are reflecting on the best of times. But now, gee, I think it's time to take a step back and reflect on the worst of times.
Oh yeah, here we are, man. We're still trying to climb this slippery slope, man. 20 some years later, and here we are. We're still trying to get to the top, beat it to become king of the hill. So, I titled this "How Will the Cowboys Bounce Back from this tragic loss, this upsetting loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. But also, man, it has become, Mikey, it has become turnovers versus takeaways. And
Yes,
look
sir.
like we're leaning more to the turnovers. So, what is going on with the turnovers versus the takeaways? I mean, I love to have takeaways. I would love to, but it's the meter is going this way. So,
Well,
what's
it
going
is.
on?
Well, we are getting more takeaways. It's funny, our sack totals have gone down, but our takeaways are going up. It's feast or famine with sacks and takeaways. That's on our defensive part. I think the timing of our turnovers are horrible. It's never good to fumble the ball. It's never good to turn over the ball, but the decisions on it and the unfortunate bounces um, have they sway momentum. G. We are the Dallas Cowboys. We're gonna get everybody shot. I iterate this all the time. It's funny that Trevor Lawrence beats the Cowboys, and now he made it. Now the narrative is changed. But Dak Prescott, what is it? 9 picks in the last 8 games. It's
Yeah,
definitely something
no,
you need to clean up.
yeah,
He needs to clean up. But I honestly want him to be an aggressive quarterback. When he sees it, he slings it. It was feast or famine with people like Brett Favre, but Brett Favre was an MVP and a Super Bowl champion. I'm not comparing Dak Prescott to Brett Favre. I'm just saying the gunslinger mentality. It's either you live by it or you die by it. Opposed to what did we have in Dak's first year? He had what, 2 interceptions? He was the longest streak without having an interception. But what was the perception of him? He was a check down Charlie. He was, what is it? I forgot what it's called. Dacking down, like just getting the check down. So ever
right.
since John Kidna came, Dak Prescott has been slinging it. Last year was more of an outlier, and then the Amari Cooper apologists are gonna be foaming at the mouth for this. But yes, those those interceptions from this year to last year has a lot to do with the talent that he has out there. I'm sorry, no Noah Brown is a fourth receiver in some
Yeah,
squads. In some squads, he's not even on the squad.
yeah,
For him to be a blocking wide receiver and to be elevated as two, it puts our quarterback in a bind. By no means am I absolving the Dak Prescott because the timing on these are horrible, especially
yeah,
on overtime in a sudden death game where it determined the game and it was a walk-off interception, unfortunately. But you can't just dice. The game had its ebbs and flows, And there was a part of that game where Dak Prescott looked like the best quarterback in the league.
So
He
true.
was outstanding. And then you flip it to the last play of the game where he looks like the biggest clown in the league.
Yeah. So what does I mean? Where does that stem from? Could it be from the play calling, or is it just Dak is getting bad looks, or he's not? Is he being too aggressive? I mean, where is that stemming from? Is what is this all about?
It's that Josh Allen syndrome, and Dak gets it too. It's doing a little too much. If he would have took the sack, we probably would have kicked the field goal because we had stopped him. We put it won the game. We people forget Dak drove him again. What is it? 72 yards, 10 plays, ate up the whole fourth, basically the rest of the fourth quarter. That should have been the win all. The win all. It is the play calling. The play calling was great in the first half. Going into the end of the first half, I felt that Boy Wonder, he's becoming the toothache again, the wisdom tooth, got involved, and for the I'm sorry for the lack of a better word, in a pissing contest with Doug Peterson. The
Yeah,
pit, like, he got into it, and Doug Peterson is a Super Bowl winning coach, head coach at that, a beautiful mind off the Andy Reid tree, and he got caught up in that, and that's our ego.
yeah,
There was this whole notion that our team is not mentally smart or mentally smart, and they're fragile. And you know what? I believe it. We
yeah.
saw it in that game. We won that game three different times.
You're
Three
right.
different times. That's a dub. As far as I'm concerned, it's a dub. But
In regular play, that game should have been over with.
oh
That
yes,
game,
yes,
yeah. I was listening to Kellen Moore's press conference, and that was the first question the reporter asked me. Said about the third down situation. What what did he see that made this play a priority play? And he was just saying because of the two insufficient runs, he felt the need that he saw one high that he had a one on one, and he would take that chance. But you don't draw up a scheme for your best receiver, you go to your third receiver. So that's where I'm confused. How do you draw that up for your third receiver? But not only that, Jaguars only had one timeout left. Regardless of the insufficient runs, you
yeah.
still run the ball again and run the clock down, make them use their timeout. So yeah, that was his excuse for throwing the ball because he felt the need that because the first two runs were insufficient.
They lost that drive on the first call, and that it was that Zeke play that what was it, that counter, freaking
Yeah.
pulling to the guards, but the backside the backside was left free without no action from Dak. There was no option action from Dak to keep that end in concrete. So
Mhm.
he had a free run to Zeke. Like, you're not gonna
Yeah.
block somebody. So that put us behind the sticks. We did that little end around thing that we got back the yards we lost. We should right there. We should have conceded and ran a draw or a screen as long as
Yeah.
and got down, and our all world defense. At one point, we were calling them Doomsday 2.022. And
Yeah.
and there
We
you
gon'
go,
we
boss man.
we're
Fat
gonna
being a
get to the, we're gonna
liability.
get we're gonna get to the defense. Oh, I believe me. I got something for you for the defense. But you're right about that. But again, and when we look at the situational coaching, that has been a problem. That has, as far as the situation when we find ourselves in a situation to make certain calls, it's like I'm still wondering if Kellen Moore's plays are script. Are they 1 through 20 and back from 20 to 1? It's just some plays, just like, what are you doing? But I thought, Mikey, I thought that Dak had enough. leadway to check out of certain plays. And I thought he would think that, throwing that ball on third down like that, you would think he would check out of it and, you
Yeah.
know, do a run play. But that's neither here or there. But that was kind of odd.
Oh, well, I hear a lot of people making excuses for Dak Prescott on that particular play and comparing it to, oh, Tony Romo, if he would see Dez with the one-on-one. But that's Dez Bryant, the number
That's
one
theirs.
wide
Number
receiver.
right.
You didn't look for your number one. You look for Noah Brown, which is Cooper Rush's number one wide receiver, not yours, Dak. They have to be smarter. They need to learn from this. Need to learn from this. Every game for here on out is the playoff game. As far as I'm concerned, I'm tired of. All right, Optimist Mikey is done. Done, done, done. I've been the
Hey,
nice guy. I've been I've been called a pit bull, and I've been up to here. I'm just thinking about the 49er game. Every time they go out now, if they lose for boneheaded stuff, I'm gonna leave this game and drop it here, go about my life. But
you're
it
right.
is aggravating to know you could win these games. The two games we lost, we should be in first place going into this. We had a 14-point lead against Aaron Rodgers, a 17-point lead
Against
against
Jackson.
Trevor Lawrence. If we are who we think we are, we would close it out. And if this is humble pie, and it's been coming, shout out to the Texans because they played Kansas City
Yeah,
tough. And to all you Cowboy haters, cállate. Because the margin between winning and losing is this big, and they're
Sam,
professionals.
for sure.
Nevertheless, we have a great team, so we hold it to a bigger standard. So we have our opinions, we have all this content. We're holding our team accountable from here on out. This week is a big week, don't you think?
Oh, for sure. I think it's definitely a big week. But here's the deal:
What's the deal?
your head coach is saying that I want Dak to keep, you know, slinging the ball. But when you see your team in this type of situation, personally, let me say this here, man. I think this has a lot to do with our offense and our team in general. No one fears Mike McCarthy in the locker room. No one basically is held accountable by Mike McCarthy when something's done wrong. And I go back, Tom Landry was quiet, but
Yeah,
everybody feared Tom Landry. And Jimmy Johnson, oh my gosh.
the
You
fear
bet
of
you
God.
will be you will be replaced.
Go to the
Like,
asthma field.
yeah,
You have
yeah.
asthma, go to the asthma
Go to the
field.
asthma field. That's the
Yeah,
type of guy. So this locker room is more of the kumbaya locker room. Just listening to Mike McCarthy, there's no, holding someone accountable or, you know, getting in the press coming, hey, we got to do better. It's unacceptable. We got to get our heads out our butt. Those are type of statements that need to be said. But right now, you hear these press conferences like, well, we just tried and we fell short. The hell with that. Tell it like a TI is. And I
yeah.
just don't think there's no fear in that locker room.
Well, but to Mike McCarthy's defense, he is undermined by the owner. And another thing, this is a big
True.
thing. The
True.
the signs of the times are different, Mister
Yeah.
G.
Yeah.
They're not what they were. We had 2-a-days without water.
That's
These
true.
kids were coddled on 7-on-7, kind of like what basketball is with the AAU and the plenty. So all these kids are coddled the whole way. Now they're getting paid in college. Think about the sense of entitlement and the I guess the thin ice that he's or eggshells that he's walking around. Some of these players, if they want, could get him fired, and that's the truth. He has to play his cards right considering his circumstance with his owner. And who is the last coach like that in the league? The last coach like that in the league was probably Bill Belichick, and you saw them lose the biggest discipline in a
Oh
football
my
game that you
gosh.
ever see. The biggest blunder.
Oh,
Coaching isn't like that. I could say Mike
yeah.
Tomlin. could be like that, but not like in a form of a dictator or whatever. No, just a serious man that means business, and
Yeah.
and that's all I see left in the league. I think the league is a partnership. It's a business partnership. And they make business decisions. The NFL has changed, and it sucks. It sucks in the sense that there's the NBA swag in a football locker room. It'll never be the NBA because football is a totally different game, but there is a lot of entitlement, and there's a lot of you can't do that anymore, or you'll get canceled type thing. So that's what
Yeah, man.
I attribute it to.
Man, you know what? That was great what you just said because that is so true. That is the way the game is played now. Like you say, back in the day, there were two a days, and there wasn't no, practice inside the facility. You play, we used to go to Thousand Oaks. No, we was up there in Midwestern, up there in Miss Western with Jimmy Johnson. And no, we're not going out to California. We're gonna go practice right up here at Midwestern State University in Texas and in the heat. So yeah, those days, I guess you can say, man, that the days have changed. And like you say, it is a partnership, and here we are now, Mikey. We're talking about our receivers. We have CD Lamb, we have Mike.
It is all right. Is he a number one wide receiver? I think so. If anybody has had a good maturation process, it's CD. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, no, no. And he's like I said, I had my concerns at first, but he is working his way. He has worked his way up to being the number one receiver. But we have to scheme the plays for CD Lamb.
Yeah.
I don't know why we got away from the motion. We used to use the motion a few weeks ago, and it's like we just threw that playbook out the window and had to come up with something new. But here's the question here, Mikey. Knowing that
What's the
we got
question?
CD Lamb as number one, Michael Gallup as number two, which was no, I mean he
Two
was,
balls.
I mean he was a non-factor,
Two
even though he
balls.
was the number two. And then we had Noah Brown. So how do we plan on getting the ball to James Washington or T.Y. Hilton?
I hope they don't. I hope they run the damn ball. I hope they run. They get more of the tight ends in play, and the tight ends are phenomenal. Like kids, they're kids you want to root for. But aside from that, they've showed they could handle the rock. If anything, the balls come off Dalton Schultz's hands. If anything, not a
Mhm.
Hendershot,
Right.
not a
Yeah.
Ferguson. And I think that's where you get that. Of course, Ty is going to get his touches. We signed him for one big play. We wonder what game it is, but we signed Ty for a handful of plays. I'm serious. With somebody like him, he's gonna make a crucial first down, and we're gonna think about it. That's why we signed somebody like him. The Jalen Tolbert experiment. I'm sorry, Rue, that didn't work. Um, and James
Yeah.
Washington. He's still coming back, and it sucks to get continuity with the quarterback, especially if you're rehabbing and you're not getting reps. And that's James Washington to a T. It's not that he fell off the face of the earth. It's just it's reps, it's playing. That's why I once again to that Odell stuff. I see that so far fetched, and there's still
Yeah.
grumblings of it. Let
They
it
still grumbling.
go,
Let it
Frozen.
go. So true. I agree with you. I
Um,
mean, we're still entertaining this Odell Beckham stuff. I mean, here we are, watching this game, and I think Michael Gallup only got two receptions. What the?
to
And this comes from a strategy plant, play strategies and play calling and all that stuff. And but here we are. We're talking about bringing more receivers in, and we can barely give it to the ones that we have. So that's just something, that just kind of concerned me. I'm like, wow, man, Michael Gallup is a great receiver, but I
yeah.
agree with you. We have to stick to the running game, and with the two-headed monster with Pollard and Zeke. There's so much we can do with them, and it just seems like we're still limiting ourselves to what we could be.
And you know what? The, Mike McCarthy in this last game wasn't proven to be the worst coach in this whole scenario at all. At all. It's still um, Man, I had his name. I messed it up. The Ohio State coach that was coaching the Jags.
Yeah, Ohio State.
Ah,
Are you serious? Did you just do that,
yeah,
bro?
we just braid. We lost our train of thought. Anyway,
Ohio State.
that's fine. That Florida, Ohio
That
State.
guy.
You know
Yeah.
what
Oh,
we're
that
talking
guy.
about.
That guy. Yeah, that guy. Right.
Yeah,
Damn,
him.
bro.
So he goes to see what a team looks like and them having a culmination and to beat the Cowboys and watch Trevor Lawrence blossom. They it was all momentum and it's
It
hard to
was.
win that game slot. I'm not making excuses. It's hard to go east in the morning slot. We were uncomfortable playing that time slot anyway. Go east when it's weirdly warm and to play a football game. It's just something that happens. It happens to the best of the league. No excuses. We had that game on anyway, three times.
Sure, we
Three
did.
times.
No excuses. Right. So here we are. We see that what's going on with our offense, but this defense, man, gave up 503 yards. Now we was talking about the Legion of Boom
The
2.0
doomsday.
and the Doomsday defense, and so how did we get here?
It's called attrition. Attrition. And for people that don't know what attrition means, it's the bangs and bruises of the road of what life gives you. If you do something enough, you're gonna get sore. If you do something enough, you're gonna get injured. So injuries, the loss of Anthony Brown has been significant for all you Anthony Brown haters. You don't know what you got until it's
Now we
gone.
know. Now, yeah,
Not
that's right.
you don't know what you got until it's gone, and he held it down. He was picked on, and he stepped to the challenge. Boss man Fat, with that pump and go, he got, and that's just his lack of reps, lack of playing time. He has all the talent in the world. He's just mentally not there. Nashawn Wright, Nashawn Wright.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
are two special teams players. Two special
yeah.
teams players. Deron Bland's doing good, but we're talking about that side of the field, and they're not
Hmm.
going at Diggs at all. You got to give
No,
Diggs his props because he's shutting down. He's taking half the field away, but that's happening on the other side.
yeah,
We picked up that kid from the Raiders. No, he was a Raider, and then
yeah.
He was a Arizona Cardinal. He slips
Mullen,
my mind.
M-
And
Mullen.
see,
I think it's Mullen.
maybe maybe he gets playing time, but losing Jordan Lewis, losing AB has shown it now. And here's another one: the redheaded stepchild of the Cowboys huddle, the
Yep,
redheaded stepchild of the Cowboys huddle,
yep,
number 55,
yep.
could be out for the season with a messed up neck. Could be out for the rest of his career.
The
He
Wolf
might be
Hunter.
late on tackles. He might be getting them eight on the 7 yards downfield, but he's making the tackles. We didn't. Anthony Barton horrible. He
Yeah,
looked
he does.
horrible.
Yeah,
So
his feet, yeah, his footwork is terrible. And I can say this here too, Mike. To be honest with you, I think Leighton Vander Esch played his best game against the Texans, man. I mean, we could say we want to say, but man, like you said, you don't miss a player until it's gone. You don't miss your
yeah.
baby until it's gone. So here
Well,
we are
even if
now.
it's your ugly baby, even if it's it's your ugly baby. It's yours.
It's your ugly baby, though,
It
right?
is.
So now we see, and I understand. I had an individual guy tell me today, say, "Man, we don't have no dogs on our defense." I beg to differ.
What are you
I
talking
beg to
about?
differ. Yeah, what are you talking about now? I mean, I know we're in this little slump right now, but I beg to differ. And I had to name them off. You got Tank Lawrence, you got Michael Parsons, you got Trayvon Diggs. I mean, you got Donovan Wilson. Okay,
Oh,
so
Diggy Dua, man. Oh, Diggy Dua
so yeah,
gets slept on.
and I
Slept
think
on.
he's
No, we
just
got
he's just he's just he's just angry right now, and he's like all of us right now. But let me ask you this here, Mike. It's so,
what's up?
brother, we have problems with RPOs and misdirections. And if you saw Dougie P came with some misdirection, and he found something, and it gave us the blues. What is going on with our defense to where we are having problem with these RPOs and these misdirection plays?
It's the linebacker core. It's the linebackers. So we had Once again, a mediocre linebacker in Lane Vander Esch, but he's the best one at what he's doing for our defense. Once we lost him, communication got shot. Communication comes in with a backup. Communication,
Mhm.
it's a different voice, a different recognition, a different read. We have it's not nothing new. G, we have problems with the run. We're ranked number 27th in the league out of 32 teams. There's 5 teams in the league worse than us. So this is not nothing new. They know what to do. What's disheartening about this game is our defense made turnovers and played a great game until they lost it. The offense played a great game. Dak Prescott played a great game aside from his turnovers, but there was spots in that game, and we still both the sides of the ball had a bad day. And it's hard to say when you score 31 points and you lose a game as an offense and say you had a bad game. Like, we're defending Dak Prescott's without a stack, but when it came to it, they lost the game. And the offense lost the game, but the defense lost the game as well. Lost the game. And give
Yeah,
credit to the Jacksonville Jaguars and the coaching
yeah,
staff, but
definitely.
we had a howl in it was a debacle, plain and
Yeah,
simple, a debacle.
I
But can
heard.
we exercise these demons now? Can we just
Yeah,
let it
yeah.
go?
We got 3 games. We got 3 games to get it right. And here's the deal: we can't keep saying what needs to happen. We need to make it happen. Same thing with this defense. I feel that on these RPOs, I look at like Tank Lawrence when we was going up against our guy from Chicago. Damn, I can't think of his name. The quarterback. And oh my gosh, I am so bad with the names of
Justin
that.
Fields.
Justin
Justin Fields.
Fields. Thank you very much. I mean, I'm getting old, but I'm not that
It's
damn old.
okay.
But anyway, so but I noticed, I'm watching Tank Lawrence, and Tank Lawrence goes in on a beeline. But one thing I've always known is when you have a running quarterback, or even if it's a sweep or a toss to the outside, you always want to chase that outside shoulder and I kept
Today.
noticing our D ends, they pinch so hard to where we give up the edge. There's no containment. And I don't know if this is part of the play calling or if our defensive ends are being too aggressive. But man, we keep falling for that same trick,
Well,
you
I
know?
hope they see it and spot it and modify it. They are aggressive. They've been taking advantage of our aggression with the short little screen passes. The RPOs are what's killing us. And
Well, get ready.
segueing into an RPO team that's coming up, which is being really savvy right now. We see you, Philadelphia, and we see what you're doing. They're taking advantage of that, and Philly is the number one rushing team in the league.
Yeah, they are. So with
It,
that being said, Mikey, so now knowing we got issues at this linebacker position, knowing that Leighton Vander Esch is not going to be there, who is your starters at your linebacker?
it's gonna be
Especially,
Michael Parsons.
especially, especially going against this RPO offense. Who you
I,
got?
I hate I hate to say it's got to be Anthony Barr just because of his experience in this league. Uh, Damone Clark, he's a squirrely, not so heavy guy. He's good in pass, and he's good catching up to the offense of the opposition. But taking on guards, taking on big linemen on the point of attack, he still needs to put on his man weight to handle that.
Yeah.
Um, and Anthony Barr, that's what's on the roster. Next man up, as much as to our chagrin or our dismay, that's the guy, especially because of his experience.
Hmm. Right. So yeah, so I agree with you. I'm surprised we haven't tried to bring Jabril Cox in. I mean, this is probably a good opportunity. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't fit, but I think we need some fast linebackers. And I personally, because of how we had Michael Parson going up against that Lane Johnson guy. He
Mhm.
might have to go back to linebacker this week.
Yeah, definitely. So what's up? You want it over? You want? Oh, well, before anything, before we go into Philly, how savvy, how savvy is Deron Smith? I'll go to
Oh
right
yeah, the Pro
tackle.
Bowlers. Yeah, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
of
that was
course you're
beautiful.
gonna go to right tackle. You got Zach Martin next to you, boy.
That was beautiful, man.
Of course, they gave us a curveball that we kind of already knew. Like, well, no shit. Like, of course. Like, what was my thing for the longest time? Well, an argument about Tyron Smith. Ever since he lost Ron Leary, he hasn't been the same. He's more responsible on that side.
Yeah,
Wow, we got Zach Martin and freaking Tyron
Tyron
Smith on
Smith.
one side, and there was times in that game. Our run, we were dominating the ball. Like this is such a frustrating game, frustrating to its core, but it's not completely where we didn't get anything out of it. And if anything we got out of that game is we know Tyron is back he's probably the best right tackle in the league right now already. I
You know,
swear, man.
they said he was excited when they asked him to play the right side. He said he would. They said he was excited to be playing next to Zach Martin. And I saw a couple of pass off where they passed players off to each other. It was, I mean, it was so synchronized, brother, without them missing anything. So with that being said, Kellen Moore, you know what? If I'm Kellen Moore, I'm running behind those two Pro Bowlers, and I'm going to keep running it until you know, expose it. But until then, I'm running behind those two guys.
Yes, yes, it was a beautiful thing to see. uh Poor Jason Peters looked his age this game, man. He
Yeah,
was off, but it's just Peters looks. Tyron looks so good, he made Peters look bad. That's all I'm gonna
yeah,
say. But that's it's a beautiful thing to watch, and
yeah.
to think
Oh, it
the
was.
depth that we said we thought we didn't have. We're all right. Last time I checked, we lost the game and clinched the playoff spot. I don't know about your team. That's the difference between my team and your team. Y'all team
Right.
loses, and all you get is a highlight. My
Yeah.
team loses, and we clinch a
Oh.
damn playoff spot, baby boy, baby boy. 2 years
Hey,
in a row.
that's something. But man, I tell you what, I was it was beautiful seeing that them Pro Bowlers out there, and then having our rookie, which he gave up 2 sacks, but it's okay. I mean, he going against a top notch defensive end, so he just got
Yeah.
outplayed a few times. But McConnell did very well. But I think Tyron Smith could actually play the full game over there. I think they were just limiting his time over there. So you might see Peter slide back over to this left side with Tyler.
I think they're gonna leave it at that. They're just not going to have Peters. You might see him as left tackle from time to time to spell, but I think our line is solidified. Tyler Biotis is playing great. Connor McGovern looks better than
Yeah,
anything.
better.
Dude, then Connor, I'm sorry, Connor Williams,
Oh
like
yeah, 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 yeah. He yeah,
Connor
definitely.
McGovern has not looked like Connor Williams all year.
No.
So think about that. Think about that. How bad it was with Connor Williams. That we really haven't talked about Connor McGovern because he's doing his job. He's not Larry Allen, but he's doing
Right.
his job, and he's not picking up these dumb penalties like our other boy Connor
Oh
Williams.
my
So
gosh.
I,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
believe this is our line, and let's go. He's better
yeah,
than
man.
Steele. I'm sorry, Terrell Smith better than let Steele, and Steele's on the come up. Our depth is. You mentioned if we didn't have that, the sirens would be going off. If anything that came out great out of this game is to
Yeah.
see those guys playing together, and
Oh,
let's go
beautiful.
on to this next week. It's a Saturday game. We got a quick turnover, so we lost. Get it out of the system, and let's get into this new game.
Well, I tell you what, and you're so right about that. And I really think this is going to be a great matchup. This is going to be a great matchup. So we'll definitely see what this Pro Bowl or this reorganized front line looks like against these guys coming this Saturday. So that's going to be. I can't wait to see it, man. So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it was a beautiful thing just seeing those guys playing on the same side. And like you say, Tyler Badass. I could call him Tyler Badass again
He's
because
badass again.
yeah,
He's
he is.
badass again.
He is Tyler Badass. Man, I saw him pull one time from the center position and sealed off the left side to get to pop Pollard to the outside. Like, what the? He did that.
Yes,
That's
sir.
not easy to do from a center position to pull and seal the outside of Tyler Smith, and he Pollard picks up another 7, 8 yards. That's not easy to do. So I'm gonna give Tyler Badass his name back. Hopefully he lives up to it this weekend. You know what I mean? So
Yes, sir.
uh, let me ask you this. So how do we bounce back this week? What is the keys to the game this week?
Well, there's things going on with this game. There's little integral things. We'll
Wait a
get
minute.
into the game,
Conspiracy.
but there's some gamesmanship going on. And if you guys are not familiar with gamesmanship, it's the game before the game.
Right.
It's it's showing the other team you're practicing an athletic quarterback, so they have to practice RPOs or options and putting a wrinkle in. This time, I can't stand Nick Sirianni. I can't stand the fucking Eagles. I can't stand fucking Nick Sirianni. Excuse me for using the F
You
word,
can do it.
but that's why it's a podcast and we not
Yeah,
on regular TV. But I think this is brilliant. This is brilliant on Nick Sirianni because we're gonna be concerned with not playing Jalen Hurts and playing old mustache and jorts,
yeah.
mustache and jorts, and we're
Mhm.
not gonna think about playing Jalen Hurts, or we don't know the severity of it. Another thing, if Jalen Hurts, what do they got to lose if they just throw this game? Nothing.
Now they got a first round bye.
They don't have it wrapped up yet. They could lose. There's a possibility they can lose the rest of the games we win. We get it, but
Yeah,
that's very unlikely. So
right.
them throwing the game or them not starting Jalen Hurts, who's the pressure on? Who is the most pressure on in this game if Jalen Hurts doesn't start?
Yeah,
Dak Prescott.
that's
Us.
right.
Did they put? He just grabbed all that pressure sandwich and threw it to the Cowboys because we've been riding on the coattails of, well, you guys beat us, but you guys beat
We
us
had
with our
Cooper Rush.
backup. You were
Yeah.
Cooper Rush. So now they're gonna do that to us, and that's beautiful because the game plan is gonna be different with the backup
Oh yeah,
with George.
for sure, for sure.
So they're not going to be giving up nothing new to the Cowboys or any wrinkles they could. With ultimately, these are the best two teams in the NFC. I don't give a crap about no Purdy. Purdy's gonna. They're gonna. The Niners quarterback Brock Purdy. They're gonna get tape on him, and
Yeah,
eventually he's gonna
yeah,
fall flat on his face. He's
yeah,
he's a he's a sixth-round pick for a reason. Good for
yeah.
him. Good for his run. He's Jeremy Linning it. It's Lynn sanity. It's Purdy sanity right now. But eventually, the league catches up with you.
That's right.
And let's get more film on him, and you'll see how good he is in 2 weeks. We'll see how good he is. But that
Yeah,
defense is for real. I digress. The best two teams are the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles got the foresight to say, we're not going to show them any of our stuff because division games and playoffs could go either way. The familiar opponents. Remember what happened in 2007 when we smashed the Giants twice? They come into our crib, they take it from us, and they go on and win a Super Bowl.
yeah.
So I think this is gamesmanship. I think it's a lot of maybe posturing, but more gamesmanship.
Oh,
And if
facts, facts.
Jalen Hurts doesn't play, I all the pressure is on the Dallas Cowboys. They're gonna be on the standalone game. They the debacle last week, plus they're the damn Dallas Cowboys.
Well, think about this as well. You're so right because basically they really want to keep Dallas at that fifth seed to where
Yes.
we have to play Tampa Bay or the 49ers. You know,
Yeah.
they don't want to play a divisional a team, you know, in the playoff because it's a lot harder. But if they can keep Dallas at the fifth seed and things work like they need to, they rather see us play the 49ers or Tampa Bay.
Oh yes,
versus playing
definitely.
Minnesota, you know. So yeah, there's gonna be something to see how this works out, man. I'm woo. But like I say, I I have no control of the Dallas Cowboys. I just
No, we do not.
hope, keep my fingers crossed that they do the right thing, knowing that they have tape on them. And like I say, we don't know who's gonna play. But again, when you said something about Nick, the only reason I like Nick is because he is in your face and he challenges the. That you got to watch him.
He's
Now the
an
guy,
asshole, man.
and you know what? This is what the game is made of. You can't be up here passing out flowers and daisy and giving hugs and stuff like that. This guy, yeah, he's challenging the whole sideline. You remember what Chris Richard did when we played him back in 18? Chris Richard started a fight with the coach, and it
Yes,
it
sir.
hyped our boys up. So you
Oh,
know,
yes, sir.
that's that's the only reason I like Nick, because Nick he acts as if he's on the field, so he takes it personal. Yeah, but you know, as far as the Eagles overall, no, I can't stand the Eagles, but I'm watching this guy,
No,
and
no, I get it. It's respect.
one thing I can give to Nick is he's playing to the strengths of Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
Why try to
he
make him
is.
a pocket passer when he's an RPO? But now the RPOs are catching up with him. Now he has this stinger now, which we knew that was going to happen.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's happening to the best. This game is full of the best athletes in the world, highly conditioned athletes, and you see what it's did to our own quarterback. How it's making
Yeah,
him skittish in the pocket, make him really reluctant to pick up a first down. He rather throw it than use his legs sometimes. Like in this game, they spun him around. I'm like, go down, Dak. Because every time I see his feet planted, I don't want it to go like this. And
yeah,
then
fact.
you know what I'm saying. So, but yeah, and that's attrition. It's a level playing field. You know how they say life isn't fair. Life is very fair because it's unfair to all of us. It's unfair. And so some
Come
people are
on,
born on first base, some people are born in first base, some people don't even get up with a bat. And it
right,
is what it
right.
is. But the unfair part is that all our circumstances are, for the most part, and the things that we can't control are the same. And in saying that,
Yeah,
that means, yeah, we got our injuries, and so do the Philadelphia Eagles. And Jalen Hurts is a big one. They were saying before they announced that he had a sprained shoulder, that he had a broken collarbone. And you know what? I was like, no, 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 no. We want them full.
yeah,
But I think that is just food for the media to
yeah,
have him miss this game. I swear. I think in my hunch, my conspiracy theories, I think this is posturing. I think this is gamesmanship. And it's brilliant. It's brilliant if they don't play. Like I said, they give all the pressure, not to
yeah,
Jalen Smith versus Dak Prescott to win
yeah.
or to prove a point. They don't have to prove shit.
Right,
But the Dallas
right.
Cowboys do. And if they
Yeah,
don't beat the Philadelphia Eagles
with Dak.
with their backup, and they get a bunch of egg on their face. And like we said earlier, this team is not mentally strong.
Yeah, that could
They
break
need
them
to
right there.
find it quick.
That could break them. That could really break. That could be the straw that breaks the camel's back if they lose against Philadelphia, man. That could be the downward spiral to where we won't go far at all in the playoff. You know, if that, and that's like you said, that's a mental move on the Philadelphia part. And I think I would sit Jalen. I would sit him.
Got nothing to lose. They got nothing to lose. They won't lose first overall. We're the closest one to them. And we got a team. And you know, we won. We split in half, but they didn't reveal game plan. They didn't fall under pressure. And if they win, best case scenario for them. Best.
Yeah, it would be with a backup quarterback.
Yes, sir.
So I guess, man, with that being said, I guess we can predict our scores, man, and and keep our fingers crossed. So for this Saturday game, Cowboys versus the Eagles, what is your prediction, Mikey D?
Oh, then I'm gonna eat a lot of tamales. Oh man, well, with well, considering all the
Yeah.
Michael Parsons crap. And it's not crap. Hey, I love my linebacker to be that. He's been. Hey, I don't understand why this backlash against Michael Parsons and him running his mouth. You guys applaud him for being the lion. You guys applaud him for being the next Lawrence Taylor. So when he does Lawrence Taylor stuff, but he doesn't produce on the field, you guys are
Yeah.
crucifying him.
It's a problem.
Oh, I saw a content creator. I'm not going to say his name, Young K. I can't believe you had him on the huddle. Sending some crap about I put this on Michael Parsons and I'm disappointed. Disappointed in what? Our ferocious linebacker? He's not exactly the quarterback. He is the number one candidate for the defensive player of the year. I want him to pop off.
Yeah. Well, and
It
that's what
seems
football is made of. Football is you talk trash, but the only thing about that, some people are so scared to talk trash. Well, it might backfire. So what? If it does, I'm going out there and give my best. But there's no trash talk no more in the league anymore, like you say.
but to your answer your question,
Come on with
with
it.
Jalen Hurts, I predict we win 17-20 Dallas Cowboys. Without Jalen Hurts, I say we win 28-10. Hey, I want for Christmas. Hey, if we lose Santa or God, but we win a Super Bowl, I'm down with it. And it ain't gonna ruin my Christmas because I have a
Well,
good life. What about you, G? What's your
J-
prediction?
well, I'm gonna say, Mike, I'm gonna say with Jalen Hurts, I'm gonna say we win 28-20. Without Jalen Hurts, we win 35-17. I
Woo!
think this loss is it left a bad taste in our mouth, man. Regardless,
Dude,
and the attitude that they have to have is whoever lines up in front of us, they're gonna get it. That's just it. I don't care who you line up in front of us, you got to take this whooping. And it's not
take it.
personal, it's business.
Yes, sir. That's
All
right.
There we are, man. So, hey, man, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, man, below, and make sure you share this video because, man, I love this guy, man. He always come with great content, man, and we had to get this show back up and going. So here we are. So y'all make sure y'all share this and make sure you leave your comments down below. So, Mikey, hey, like we always say, don't nothing come to a sleeper but a dream. So let's make it
Merry
happen.
Christmas.
Dallas Cowboys. Deuces. We're out.